you know. So proofreading, my friend Audrey, she was a great help with proofreading as well. So she knows the torture we have been through over and over again. And none of us is perfectionist. So there was a lot of sleepless nights really going through the script over and over again. Now, most of you know me, but for those of you who don't know me, I just made a little presentation. Hopefully you'll find it fun as well. So just a little about me, and it might help if I have my glasses on. And it was all working perfectly well earlier. Now it's not. Okay. Is somebody? Here we are.
They didn't say. No, he's from the copy of the book, isn't it?
I know how it feels like to be stuck, feeling you have more to hear. I am here to share my story and how women are going through things that I have to. While I was working in FedEx, they were the same. It just felt hopeless. I knew I could do a lot more. I applied for a job as a production coordinator. I knew everything about television. Everyone here, okay? You don't job here. TV3 called me and they said, if you want, the job is yours. It was amazing. Suddenly, I was helping produce big sports game, Champions League, going to Istanbul, no way. 3 months on, everything changes. The department where I work in is closing. I just got here. Now I put everything to get here as a single mom in a different country. That was tough. What do? Crashing through that roadblock really helped me realize I don't have to give up and go back to how things were. So now I help women who doubt themselves, who are at that point where life has thrown them a roadblock. I help you to crush through so you don't give up and go back to survive, but you go through and find the thrive and find the fears. So that's me. A little about me. My journey is from Istanbul. Actually, one of my friends have just been there. So, and I find that my friends who visit Istanbul, they kind of have they get to know me in a different perspective as well. Because if they have met me here, then they don't know my past, they don't know where I come from. But once they are with me or without me in Turkey, in Istanbul, then they're like, oh, no, I have a different connection with you now. Interesting, isn't it? So they kind of see where I grew up. And so my journey went from Turkey to Copenhagen and then to London. I came to London to work, like you have heard, to work in television. And when I was in Copenhagen, when you don't speak the language, the jobs you can get are usually behind the scenes. So that's my chambermaid times, and that's me now. And those are when I was doing voiceovers and so on. So it's been a journey, and one of the things that started connecting me with women, I would say, is my dancing. I've always liked entertaining people and dancing. Dance is one of my passions. And I started teaching ladies, and they blossomed. These ladies who were solicitors, teachers, they just blossomed. And they were like in those clothes, you know, so beautiful. So that was how I helped them gain their confidence, be able to stand in front of 400 people on the stage. So we had a fantastic show. And that's some more of those. We have been on the newspapers, television, and since I started working as a psychotherapist, psychologist, coach, I have then been doing a lot of speaking events. I graduated at the same time as my daughter, so that's and so I was there. And so I'd like to ask you, who here has experienced stress in the past 2 weeks? That was me. Yeah,
In trouble, Mike.
it's a lot. They did research, worldwide research, one of the health companies, health insurance companies, and they found that 45% of the workforce actually experienced stress the day before. 45%. So that's a lot of people at workplace. So and there could be lots of reasons. Job uncertainty, there could be the deadlines, there could be reports, there could be presentations, there could be you have to get your kids picked up from school. There's a lot at the moment that we are dealing with, isn't there? So I have recently, well, so these are my books, but recently I have been on Global Woman magazine, featured, and funny enough, I have also been on Essex radio. So they have interviewed, it may, I mean, I'll be able to play this for you, but.
Well, to answer some of those sorts of questions is Eileen Webb. Eileen is a psychologist based in Sheffield. Morning, Eileen.
Good morning, Sonia. It's great that now we don't actually have to go. Yeah. Yeah. So
Is that psychology going on there?
yeah, so us talking about behind the wheel there. And right, so from there, just think about all the stress that you might have had in the past 2 weeks. And stress causes chronic anxiety. So please notice and do not ignore if you have been stressed for a long time. Right, this book is for you. If your well-being is affected, worrying all the time, always prioritizing others more than yourself, feeling sadness due to never being enough. It's like no matter what I do, it's just never enough. Feeling procrastinating, if you find yourself procrastinating as well, blaming yourself when things go wrong, it's all my fault, I should have known better. And if you feel socially anxious, if you're going to go to a social situation and you feel, oh, people are going to judge me, they won't think I'm enough, I'm not entertaining enough, I'm not interesting enough, I'm not fun enough, or feeling like imposter, not quite fitting in your workplace. If you want to feel confidence for a fulfilling life, if you're a mom, worried about not being a good mom, and want to help your loved ones. So these are what the books, these are the things that the books are covering, both books. One of the book is really about more with the help of quotes. Every day you get a quote, it's structured in different chapters. So over 10 weeks, you get vulnerability, letting go, hope, authenticity, and so on. And it takes you on a journey. It's kind of like your own therapist. And you have daily journals, 5-minute journals, and you have got reflections as well, weekly and monthly. So you can go back and kind of look at the past 10 weeks and really go back to them to look at what good stuff has been happening and how far you have come. You have some evidence. Now, the perfectly imperfect, on the other hand, it's a book. I think it's about 160 pages. It looks into your negative beliefs, your limiting beliefs, the mind. the emotions and your behavior and how that cycle is keeping you going so you can get out of the maintenance cycle, gain more awareness. It's also got some worksheets. So again, I'm with you all the way, and you can start working on yourself from the beginning. There's also a little test that you can do in order to figure out whether you are a perfectionist or not. So if you don't mind, I'm going to read a little. I won't go through these. I think, with anxiety, you don't really want to talk about anxiety, you just want to have fun, really. So, but the anxiety problems linked to perfectionism. Now, many people are not aware how hidden perfectionism is, because I have to say it's taken mostly as a positive trait, or people are talking about it as perfectionism is a positive thing. I've seen it on some of the job descriptions. Oh, it's okay if you're a bit of a perfectionist. No, it's not okay, because when you're striving for success, it's okay to learn from your mistakes, and you're like, okay, I've learned from this and I've grown and I can move on and try it again. But if you start beating yourself up, you can't focus, you're reading your emails 10 times for half an hour, an hour. Sometimes I've seen clients reading their emails almost all day long. And the work is piling up here, so they're getting more and more stressed, but they're not quite so sure if that email is good enough. So it causes a lot of stress. Then people start getting depressed, that anxiety, and so you don't have a productive workforce if they're perfectionists. And these are, eating disorders. They're about your body quite often. Obsessive compulsive disorder comes from perfect house, perfectly clean, or yourself being perfectly, your hands being perfectly clean, or your house being perfectly clean, or making sure that the doors are completely locked, and so on. So again, perfectionism really in the foundations of these problems. So if we go to anxiety-related behavior, there's worry, repeated checking, procrastination, again, and then I will move on from there. Emotions, as you can see, there's lots of emotions there. There is sadness, there's nervousness because, I'm going to do this presentation, and if I don't do it perfectly, people will laugh at me. And anger, there could be anger to yourself because you have made that mistake towards yourself, or anger towards others because they are being judgmental. And frustration, disappointment, demotivation. Oh, I don't really want to go to work. I've got so much to do. And we know that causes in the end, really, you just can't get out of bed. That anxiety, your mind is completely part of your body. It's connected to your body. So what you think, you feel, and if you ignore that in the long term, your body will say, no, we are not doing this anymore, and you get ill, which I see over and over again. So be aware of your mind, be aware of your body, your emotions. Anxiety does not change the future events, but that may or may not happen, but it takes away today's joy. So don't miss out on that. And remember, what you practice grows stronger. So that's just one of my clients.
Thank you, because I wouldn't be where I am now. I was in a complete mess when I came to you. In fact, I felt like I was dropping off the edge of the cliff. And had it not been for you, I really don't know quite where I'd have been. And the same for my son as well. So, so we can only say thank you from both of us, for helping us. Because I really was in trouble. I really didn't know whether I was going that way, and I didn't feel good in having not great thoughts. But should we put it another way? And Sam was right to speak to you, because sometimes I think you need to offload things, and I think that you're.
That's
all I-
and so let's embrace our perfect imperfections. Now, I have a question for you. Do you have anything about yourself that you felt was so imperfect that you were, it was distressing? Maybe when you were growing up, that happens usually when, our teenage years. Maybe when you were growing up, you may not have liked some parts of your body, maybe your hair, your nose, or something, and now you appreciate it. I can start. I can say, I want to win a free book. So I can start. I was told that my hands were fat, and short, and I loved the piano, and I believed it. So because they said, oh, you can never play the piano, your fingers are just your hands, they're not big enough to manage that. So I believed it, and so I didn't really pursue as in the years, and when I was 11, 12, I just thought every time I was training, I'm like, oh, my fingers are not really doing what they should be because they're fat. So, and my toes, I always say my feet fat and not nice. So I wouldn't even wear like summer shoes where I could have my toes out because I was embarrassed by my toes. Now I think they're beautiful, and I'm thinking for 56 years, 7 now, they have taken me everywhere around the world, and I really appreciate them. And with my hands, I can do so many things. I do amazing macrames that I'm really proud of. So now I am very proud of those imperfections that I felt were imperfect, but now I think they are perfectly perfect. So, any stories, any imperfections that,
I've got one.
yeah.
After childbirth, I obviously got some stretch marks, and I've never liked my stomach after that and wouldn't wear bikini because I was like, oh, who wants to look at those? And a few years later, I enrolled on a massage course with various other people at the local community college. And we all had to take it in turns to learn massage and massage each other, doing different parts. And I thought the only one thing I would never let anyone do to me, like in front of the whole class, was to massage my stomach because of the stretch marks. And obviously, when it came to be my turn, it was the stomach. So I had to bear all and let some, one of the other people in the class. But I think after that, or even now, I just accept that I'm not perfect. And obviously, I've got my lovely children, so I'm imperfect, but it doesn't matter.
You're perfectly.
I'm perfect.
It must have been a good looking, Monsieur. That's all I can say.
We could, yeah.
I was in my teenage years, became conscious of the size of my nose, and I get into a stage where you fancy a bloke on the bus or when you're out. I would actually walk along with my or put my hair right down over my nose because I just felt because a friend, so-called friend, had called me Ollie Beak. So that's where it came from. Just like when someone said to you, your hands are fat, someone had drawn attention to my nose and then start calling me Ollie Beak because it was a puppet on the TV. And so I became very conscious of my nose. But as years went on, I was aware that I had a really good Roman nose. My dad had this really good, and my dad was really, really handsome. And so you embrace it, and then you change your thinking,
And you can smell everything.
And you can smell
it's doing its job.
Yeah, as well. Yeah.
so interesting. Okay, really interesting. Anybody else who wants to share? Okay, well, so if you don't mind, I'll read just a little passage from my book, and just to give you an idea what it is really all about. Would that be okay? So in the beginning, you might have noticed that there is some pottery that I put around, and there is a reason for that. Like, so in Japanese culture, there's an art form called kintsugi. When pottery breaks, instead of discarding it or hiding the cracks, the fractures are filled with gold, silver, or platinum. The essence of kintsugi lies in embracing flaws and imperfections, believing that they tell a story and add unique beauty. It signifies that broken does not mean worthless, sorry, but rather that we can find new beauty and strength through our fractures. Much like the pottery mended with gold, I have faced cracks and breaks throughout my life, but that is also what makes my journey unique. None of us are immune to those cracks and hardships that we face in our lives, and I have put this book together to celebrate that we are perfectly imperfect. I would like to, so I'm just taking a couple of passages from here. I won't bore you with all of it. I would like to take you on a journey from where you are now, if you're feeling that some of the things are giving you distress, where you're now to where you want to be. Help you overcome the barriers and the fears that are holding you back from achieving your full potential. Let's work together through this book to get you there. In this book, we'll explore the noble yet mostly impossible to achieve goals of perfectionism. We'll debunk myths and misconceptions, provide tangible solutions that can be applied to everyday life, and create a space of reflection, compassion, and understanding. Together, we'll clear up the cognitive clutter to level up our work, creativity, and confidence, all from the comfort of your own couch. So here you will find everything that will help you understand perfectionism and a step-by-step guide with forms to fill in to help you break free from the chains of perfectionism and finally be liberated to pursue your life's purposes and find happiness and fulfillment. If you're tired of chasing the impossible demands you put upon yourself and others, and maybe perceive that others put on you, even though they may not be, but that's your perception. Come learn how to beat perfectionism adieu. Once and for all. I will be with you all the way through. So I kind of thought that people might be a bit peckish at this hour. So we have got canapes, we have got sandwiches, we've got some juice, water, and some more coffee and tea. So please just mingle, be merry, and and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you again. Oh, and there is a bar as well, and I think that there is someone coming here and going. I mean, order if you want any other drinks as well. Yeah, sorry, I got a bit.
Perfect. No. Just put it.
Turn this off. And what that is that going?
Yes.
End stream. So we go up there. Thank you for listening, everyone.